An update to Parliament on the social grants issue this morning. So far, Social Development Minister Bathabile Dlamini has not attended any of the briefings. Consideration of the strategic plan and the budget vote will also take place. We cross live now to our reporter Annika Lassen, who is covering that story for us. Good morning, Annika. Do we know if the minister will indeed make an appearance this morning?
You know, boy, that's really anybody's guess, because this portfolio committee has been waiting for her for some time, and in fact she didn't attend, nor her deputy attended the budget presentation that her department was meant to present last year either, I'm told. There are actually two committee meetings that she's scheduled to attend today. One is in the eNCA, that's this afternoon, and the other is the portfolio committee on social development at 10 o'clock this morning. Now, she has not attended either committee, and the committee chair, who has been fairly gracious as an ANC committee chairperson member in the past, last time actually was a little more irritated and said, well, you know, unless she actually appears, the committees are not going to go ahead. And the same sentiments were expressed in the NCOP last week when they said that that committee was not going to sit until the minister appears. Now, the minister told the committee last week, she sent her apology saying she was not able to attend because of a cabinet meeting. Cabinet does sit on a Wednesday. But other cabinet ministers were in Parliament last week to present their budgets to Parliament. So there's some question as to what cabinet meeting she was actually attending and why other members of the executive were able to come and deliver the budgets here in Parliament as they ought to do.
Well, at the meeting you're referring to, Annika, the MPs made it clear. In fact, a suggestion was made at that meeting that the next time the minister is asked to come before the committee secretary and everyone organizing the meeting should actually make sure that it's a day on which there is no cabinet meeting scheduled.
That's right. So it's not clear whether it's going to be scheduled again today, but I can tell you that with all the activity here in Parliament today, with all the black cars to my right, if you just pan up, please, Lungi, up to the top, you'll see that at Tainhase, most of the cabinet ministers' cars, convoys are up there. So it would suggest that with the economics cluster due in the National Assembly to answer questions later today, that cabinet meeting is either going to happen this morning, in which case the minister will attend the 2 o'clock NCOP meeting, or that it's been rescheduled. But it's going to be an interesting meeting should she attend, because her CEO, Mr. Magwaza, is due to appear in that portfolio committee meeting, and he is going to have something to say about the work streams issue. Now, we are told that 40 million rand has been spent on these parallel system work streams, which is not in line what government usually does when there's a project. Usually it's an in-house situation, and parallel work streams and deviations are not acceptable. The CEO, Mr. Magwaza, has said before that he is not in line and does not agree with what the minister has done with this whole SASSA debacle. And lest we forget, there was so much brouhaha about it in January, and because the news media in this country works so fast, we tend to forget about it. But there are several issues still at play, and one of them is this 40 million rand for the work streams. And we understand that SASSA is going to present to this portfolio committee a letter from Treasury about its dealings, Mr. Gigaba's dealings, and his opinions on this workflow issue, which has cost 40 million, and whether this deviancy, or this deviation, I should say, that was a bit of a slip of the tongue, this deviation is acceptable or not. And bear in mind that the minister and Magwaza have not spoken to each other for several months. He was apparently booked off with a nervous breakdown, his anxiety levels, and the situation that he felt he was was put in leading up to this all-pay Net 1 decision in January had him booked off for some time, and as we understand it, him and the minister are not on speaking terms. So if the minister does decide to attend, it could be an icy room that we're going to be sitting in.
Oh, thanks very much, Anika. That was our reporter, Anika Lassen. Of course, we do know that the minister, as she was saying, doesn't, and the minister and the SASSA CEO don't see eye to eye. The SASSA CEO has said that that 40 million, no deviation was obtained from Treasury for expenditure amounting to 40 million rands. And of course, those work streams, most people who serve there are seen to be very close to the minister, Bathabile Dlamini. So we're looking forward to that committee. We'll be bringing it to you live when it happens a little later on.